Live with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW West
If
Texas.
somebody told me that I needed to be in Miami tonight, I would be on a plane. That's how willing and eager we are.
Earlier today, the Foreman family had a chance to speak with their daughter. She is currently trapped in Haiti. For an hour, they read books, played games, and sang songs. But most importantly, the Foreman family heard her say for the first time that she loves them. In just a few minutes, what lawmakers are doing to help bring her home. Thank you for joining us for CBS 7 News on the CW, and thanks for joining us live on the CBS 7 YouTube. I'm Mary Kate Hamilton. We begin tonight with a developing story that is all new here at 9 o'clock. The Odessa Police Department is investigating a suspicious death of a 13-year-old child. Officers found the child deceased from a probable overdose in the 1900 block of East 13th Street. An autopsy was conducted, and the preliminary results indicate a fentanyl overdose. The investigation is still very active and is likely to take some time for investigators to gather evidence. That's according to OPD. We will update you as we learn more. Also new at 9 in Brewster County, Sheriff Dodson and a Brewster County deputy found almost 400 pounds of marijuana in a vehicle during a traffic stop. Probable cause was developed for a vehicle search, and the weed was located in several false compartments on the truck. This is also currently under investigation. Now for a story about a controversial nuclear waste storage proposal facing significant opposition in parts of the Permian Basin and specifically in New Mexico. The federal government is prohibited by law from engaging in temporary storage of nuclear waste without a permanent disposal plan. But private companies could take on the responsibility of disposal. Holtec International and the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, or the NRC, have appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court to reinstate their storage license despite regional opposition. Holtec's chief communications officer told CBS 7 in a statement, quote, "The Fifth Circuit's ruling that the U.S. NRC was not authorized to license and regulate nuclear fuel storage is tantamount to calling OSHA unqualified for oversight of worker safety, FAA of aviation safety, and EPA for environmental safety. We urge the Supreme Court to overturn the Fifth Circuit's legally unsound position," end quote. However, ranchers, oil and gas operators, and local landowners formed a coalition to oppose the plan, citing risks to their land, livelihoods, and safety.
This particular federal agency, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, they are acting like a rogue agency. They're interpreting the law, and they're deciding that it is within their power to issue a license to allow a private company to consolidate all of America's spent nuclear fuel, again, the most deadly material on the planet, and store it in one place, in the Permian Basin.
This coalition has argued that allowing private companies to store nuclear waste indefinitely without a permanent disposal solution is not only illegal, but also poses significant environmental and health risks. Now for an update on a story you'll see only here on CBS 7. Back in May, we told you about one Odessa family fighting to bring their daughter home. She's been trapped in Haiti due to the unrest in their nation. 70 children are still trapped there. Their families scattered across the U.S. have come together to ask for the government's help to bring the children home. Congressman Pfluger took the lead on writing a letter co-signed by 22 of his colleagues to Secretary Blinken and Secretary Mayorkas. They're advocating to bring these children home.
When you look at the bipartisan, bicameral support, we're leading on this effort to get the waivers that are needed. We're pushing Secretary Blinken, we're pushing Secretary Mayorkas, and the rest of the government here to do the right thing.
In the letter Congressman Pfluger sent to the Department of Homeland Security, he asks the DOH to extend parole that was given to the first 30 children to the 70 still there. We're going to talk your weather forecast now. A hot day, just getting hotter, and the 4th of July is coming up. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Tom Teefer-Teller. Tom?
Yes, it was a scorcher today, but that daytime heating trying to kick off some showers, thunder showers, a lot of that really starting to wind down. Most of it some shower activity across southeast New Mexico into the northwest part of the Permian Basin. Have a couple of showers, but primarily up across the South Plains. What we had in the mountain areas really starting to wind down. And rainfall amounts relatively light, 2 100ths in Alpine, 15 100ths up towards the Carlsbad area as everybody got in on the heat. We were all the way up to about 110 plus down in the lower elevations of Big Bend National Park, topped out at 103 out at the Miller National Air and Spaceport, but all the way up to 106 in Pecos Monahans Wink this afternoon. Currently, we're seeing those temperatures still hot, upper 90s across many areas of West Texas, but cooled off thanks to the rain. Alpine, 81 degrees from those showers earlier today, and dew point temperatures are really starting to come down across the area. So good news on the humidity levels, as we're still dealing with some gusty winds, and that's going to keep temperatures up again overnight tonight, only dropping down into the upper 70s, and more triple-digit heats on the way all the way through July 4th.
The city of Odessa is getting ready to celebrate the 4th of July with their annual Firecracker Fandango event. People can expect food, vendors, music, and of course fireworks at the end of the night. Festivities will begin with the 4th of July parade at 10 a.m. The mayor's procession will be at 5:40.
So everybody is invited, especially those with the small children who have been working so hard to decorate their bikes in a patriotic manner, so they can participate in this. And again, there'll be horses and honor guards and many flags, a horse and carriage, stilt walkers, and it's just going to be a beautiful, beautiful scene.
The evening wraps up with a fireworks show, and the city of Midland Star Spangled Salute is also on Thursday. That's where I'll be. They'll have a food court going all day and end with their own fireworks and drone show downtown. The city of Odessa also wants to remind you that fireworks are banned within the city. Odessa Police Department and the Odessa Fire Marshal's office will be patrolling the streets on the 4th. In Odessa, it is illegal to sell or set off any fireworks within city limits. A short drive out to the county can save you from being fined.
We want to let people know if you're paying city services, you are in the city.
People ask us, well, where can we go? It's very simple. So the street signs in Odessa and the Odessa city limits are green. If you do go to the county, in some places, depending on where you're at, they could be white or they could be red.
Officers say there will be zero tolerance on illegal use of fireworks within city limits. The city of Midland also would like to remind you the same thing. All fireworks are illegal within Midland city limits. It is my favorite day of the week, Small Business Shout Out Tuesday. There is a sign outside of today's business that says you can't buy happiness, but you can buy local. This is a place where you can buy from dozens of local vendors all in one place. Birthdays, housewarmings, engagement parties, anniversaries. There is a lot to celebrate in the summer. So wouldn't it be nice to find any gift under one roof? You've got a good chance at Grace and Hustle in Midland.
Grace and Hustle opened 2 years ago, little over 2 years, because I found I had a misfit group of friends that didn't find their happy place in spots all over town.
It's a cooperative store with 19 women-owned businesses, all with their own niche and talents.
When I couldn't name it, my godmother and one of my sweetest and dearest friends, she said, Grace and Hustle. And here's me. Okay. She said, because you have to remain in grace in your hustle. So right then, she said, if you give them grace, let them bloom where they're planted.
By letting her vendors be themselves, in 2 years, the store has doubled both in space and in number of vendors. But if you think there's no room for more, think again.
And our joke is we'll rent the ceiling. If someone wants to hang it from the ceiling, we will sell it. But we like the different personalities. We like the different vibes because it brings something for everyone in town. Not everyone wants the cookie cutter gift, the cookie cutter outfit.
For all that success, Grace and Hustle wouldn't be here without a lot of hustle from its founder.
There have been many conversations where I just thought, I can't do it. I was laid off earlier this year, so I had a full-time job, part-time hair, and a full-time store. Were there a lot of crying sessions? Yes, especially when I got laid off. And I was like, well, but I am blessed. I am blessed with 19 women and a husband and a family.
Sometimes with a little grace, some creativity, and a big dream, you can create your happy place.
I started finding, as I put feelers out, these women who wanted a place they fit. And I was like, well, if I create it, will they come? I filled my store in 3 days.
That store's location, hours, and more are on our website, CBS7.com. Don't forget, every first Tuesday of the month at 4 and 10, we'll feature a new small business. Nominate your favorites and email us at CBS7.com. Donald Trump will not be sentenced for his hush money conviction until September. Today, Manhattan prosecutors said they were open to a delay in the sentencing date in response to the Supreme Court's immunity ruling. The former president's legal team immediately filed a letter Monday to use the Supreme Court's ruling to overturn that verdict. Trump had been scheduled to be sentenced on July 11th, but under the new court schedule, the date has been pushed to September 18th. The move comes just 10 days before the judge was set to sentence Trump on 34 felony counts related to his cover-up of the Stormy Daniels scandal. Still ahead, deadly heat and catastrophic climate change. What the Biden administration says they want to do to combat it, up next. As Hurricane Beryl tears through the Caribbean, scientists warn storms this early in the season might be the new normal. Today, President Biden announced a new initiative to get communities prepared before disaster strikes. Molly Martinez reports from the White House.
President Biden is launching this initiative now because he says the effects of climate change will only get more, quote, frequent and ferocious.
Ignoring climate change is deadly and dangerous and irresponsible.
President Biden is earmarking $1 billion for projects that will mitigate the calamity brought on by climate disasters. That includes $395 million for flood mitigation and $55 million to get hazard-prone buildings up to code. He says last year, extreme weather events cost Americans $90 billion in damages.
Everyone who willfully denies the impacts of climate change is condemning the American people to a dangerous future.
The plan also includes new heat safety measures for those who work outside. As temperatures rise, FEMA official Colt Hagemeyer explains that it spells out more frequent and more devastating natural disasters.
The convection cycle is what drives our environments, what drives our weather. More convection, more energy, more big storms. And so the hotter the sea surface temperature, the hotter the air, the more air rises, the more energy, and the bigger the hurricanes, the more significant the tornado outbreaks.
President Biden says they're also launching a new website. For more information, you can visit heat.gov. At the White House, I'm Molly Martinez.
And we are watching Beryl for any effects on Texas. If anything does happen, it'll be late in the weekend. But right now, West Texas, though, looks like a little bit of a change in our forecast that we'll talk about coming up next.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, as we take a look at the satellite and radar view at the present time, seeing a lot of the thunder shower activity we had across the mountain areas up in the southeast of Mexico starting to wind down for tonight with the sun setting out there. Temperatures again have been rather hot, still into the upper 90s. And as we take a look at weather makers right now, still under the influence of a big ridge of high pressure. Now this is going to kind of separate a little bit and stretch out. One center along the west coast, another one across the southeast U.S. We're going to be kind of caught in between. This trough's going to start to come down, and that could push a cool front through, it looks like, coming up late this week. That'll do two things: help us out on temperatures, cool things off by about 10 degrees or so on those afternoon highs, and also put some showers and thunder showers back into our forecast area wide later on in the week. In the meantime, though, still dealing with the triple digits out there, even though some of the shower activity is trying to make its way in across portions of the Texas Panhandle, South Plains, and the southeast of Mexico right now. High temperatures today across the state. Everybody was hot as we saw temperatures up to 102 in San Antonio, triple digits Austin, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, 97 Houston, Corpus Christi. But some of the hottest stuff was centered up back across West Texas, El Paso, again up to 103, 104 in Lubbock. 103 is what we had out of the Miller National Air and Spaceport, and the worst of it was along the Rio Grande. Presidio 107. And 111 plus down along the lower elevations of Big Bend National Park. So plenty of heat to deal with out there. Same case tomorrow as we take a look at the futurecast. We are going to be looking at, again, isolated showers, thunder showers into the mountain areas, maybe southeast of Mexico for tomorrow afternoon. A little less coverage in today, it looks like, but then we'll move the clock ahead towards July 4th. Everybody wondering what's going on outside. Again, dodging some of the thunder shower activity into the mountain areas. A little bit more tries to make its way down across portions of the northern Permian Basin into southeast of Mexico. We'll be watching that. Again, we'll put about a 10% chance in the forecast coming up for your Thursday. Rest of tonight, though, pretty quiet out there, pretty mild, too, as temperatures only into the mid to upper 70s on the overnight low. And then tomorrow, just like today, we're going to see those triple digits almost area-wide, except the mountain areas, but still hot enough into the mid to upper 90s around Marfa and Alpine for tomorrow afternoon. And your CBS 7 First Alert exclusive 10-day forecast, keeping it about 101 on July 4th with a 10% chance of an isolated thunder shower. It picks up a little bit with that front coming down Friday into Saturday. We could see some isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. Best chance later on Friday, early into Saturday. And it's going to knock temperatures down. Highs only into the lower 90s coming up for the end of the week and the start of the July 4th holiday weekend.
Up next, we're taking a look at this year's Olympic gymnastics team and how the Rockhounds are doing in their game tonight.
Time now for CBS7 First.
Tonight, the Midland Rockhounds were in Amarillo yet again, taking on the Sod Poodles. Yesterday, they won 14-4. Tonight, they're currently delayed in the top of the 5th. But the Rockhounds are leading 4-1 over the Sod Poodles right now. And while the Rockhounds will be out of town tomorrow, they're coming back for the 4th of July. The Independence Day game against the Sod Poodles will be the first of 3 days celebrating. Each game will have post-show fireworks, and the game will start at 7 o'clock. In sports, UTPB's head softball coach Samantha Mendez is leaving her position. She'll now serve as the new head coach at Illinois College. In a statement released by Illinois College, Mendez stated, quote, "I am honored and extremely grateful for the opportunity to lead the softball program at Illinois College. I couldn't be more excited to get things going and invest in our student athletes, our college, and the Jacksonville community," end quote. Mendez spent the past 2 seasons at the helm with the Lady Falcons. She finished her final season with the Falcons going 7-44. The Paris Olympics start in less than a month, and the U.S. gymnastics team is ready to go. Former all-around champion Simone Biles led the way, trying to make it back to the top after dropping out of most of her events in Tokyo 3 years ago. Jamie Yuccas is at the site of the Olympic trials in Minneapolis.
Superstar Simone Biles was an almost guaranteed lock for Paris even before the Olympic trials this weekend. But that didn't stop the already 4-time gold medalist from tumbling, twisting, spinning, and landing Team USA's top spot.
I'm still doing it. I'm still capable. So let's go.
She clinched the all-around title by more than 5 points. But it wasn't a perfect showing for Biles Sunday, with a tough vault landing and missteps off the beam.
Sitting in first place after night 1.
Oh, hello.
2020 all-around gold medalist Suni Lee also struggled on beam, but had a near-perfect bar routine earlier in the night, securing her spot on the team as well.
I didn't think this was possible, so I'm so grateful, and all of these amazing ladies are absolutely incredible.
Biles and Lee will represent the U.S. later this month alongside 2020 Olympians Jade Carey and Jordan Childs.
Were you having fun?
I was definitely having fun. Despite my little fall on beam, I still was, vibing, doing everything that I could to make sure I was enjoying my time here.
And rounding out the final spot is first-timer Hesley Rivera, who's just 16 years old.
What went through your mind when you heard your name?
I was like screaming in my head. I was like, oh my gosh, I made the team.
That final team was a surprise for many, though. After initial favorites, Kayla DiCello, Shalise Jones, and Sky Blakely were all injured before the final day.
It was just so devastating to see a couple of my friends get taken out of this huge competition, and my heart is with them.
The men also competed this weekend, with 20-year-old Frederick Richard clinching the top spot on the Olympic team.
Someone's earned it.
Last month, Richard praised the women, who have led gymnastics for decades, but told me he hopes to bring more excitement around the men's team.
The men's side has been lacking in the performance at the Olympic level of bringing home those medals, and having someone that dominates, that's what I'm looking to be.
Now all of Team USA has its mindset on one goal.
If we can just do what we do in training, then I think we're going to hit it out the ballpark.
Jamie Yuccas, CBS News.
The Paris Olympics start in less than a month, and the U.S. gymnastics team is ready to go. Former all-around champion Simone Biles led the way in qualifying once again.
Well, we can't shake the heat. It looks like we are going to be seeing temperatures staying in the triple-digit territory Wednesday into Thursday. And then a little bit of a change as a cool front arrives. High pressure moves away, and that helps things out a little bit, dropping those temperatures by about 10 degrees or so. As an added bonus, putting a few more showers, thunder showers in the forecast Friday into Saturday. Keep that in mind with any outdoor plans you have.
All right, thanks for watching CBS 7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW. Got more news at 10.